folks, I apologize. I forgot to get out the ring light, and it's about 7:30, and this is just when the daylight's starting. Of course, we won't have much longer on that because it'll be getting light at 7:15 and at 7 o'clock. And we'll be having natural light to video by. So I'm sorry for this. Anyway, it's not the video that's important, it's the audio that's important. Albany Library Reference is so capable and so competent. I called up and asked them. I said, I have a cell phone, it's a TLC. It will not store my programs on the SD card that's in it. It has a 64 gig SD card in it, and that SD card is supposed to store the programs. But instead, they don't go over. And all this storage I get is on the phone, and the phone isn't meant to do storage. It'll do 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes. Excuse me, please. So, Albany Library texts back, and his name is Nolan, and he's a research librarian, and he texts back. He said, go to settings, and then he told me, I think, how to go down to storage. And then he says there's 2, 3 other things. You pick one of those, and you pick one of those. And then he thinks that the camcorder now will store the programs on the SD card. I'll send a copy of that to you, Delia, not that you will ever accomplish it, at the Cornell Uncooperative Extension. I'll send a copy of that to Victoria. I think she could accomplish it. I think Carol could accomplish it. I shudder to ask Gina to do it because it was Gina, along with Glendora's inattention, that erased 10 months of videos from YouTube. What? Yes, we erased 10 months of programming from video. The last 10 months goes way back to May. This is April. A year. Really, it's 11 months. And I'll send a copy of it to Grady Hearn. I think that he could handle it. The new hiree that we talked to yesterday, she is not that good on the computer or on the phone, but she says her husband is, and she says her daughter is. So she will try to learn from them. Also, the new hiree, I should have called Lisa at Consumer Direct yesterday to see if the new hiree will come in under their $250 bonus. Do you know, folks, that it's getting so hard to find people to work that Consumer Direct is giving a new person a $250 bonus just to go to work for them, and that's part-time. They're giving a full-time, which would be 30 hours, a $500 bonus just to go to work for them. I'm still looking for a free rent in exchange for a person who is kind and cares and shares and who doesn't have a lot of tie-ups. What we need is a senior who needs a very nice place to live, very nice place to live, and free room and board, and a great big wonderful kitchen. And somebody who's easy to get along with, and is helpful, and as I say, who cares and shares. My mother had such a person. And I'm still looking for another hiree because the new one that we're interviewing can only do this Mondays and Wednesdays. And we need somebody Fridays and Sundays also, from 1 to 7 p.m. What are we going to do about Pittsfield? Well, write out the presenter, all right? What are you going to say as a presenter? I'm Debbie Holden. I'm a retired teacher from the Pittsfield School. I had the pleasure and satisfaction of teaching deaf children for blank years. And that qualifies me to be a presenter for A Chat with Glendora on Pittsfield Public Access TV. And not that there's any statutory authority for such a thing, but we're going along with our game. And what is A Chat with Glendora about? When all is said and done, the only thing that really matters is how did you treat others. So write that out and ask Madeline to do that and email it to Debbie Holden and email it to I don't know. Well, wait. That's enough for today. That's enough for today on that. Next problem. Taking the programs from this beautiful JVC Averio Silver Advanced Camcorder, taking the programs off of there and getting them onto the getting them onto the computer hard drive, and from the computer hard drive to YouTube. Next problem. Restoring the 11 months of programming that we erased. Next problem. Getting the Straight Talk card and the 128 SD card and the brand new camcorder for $280, getting that back from the Cornell Uncooperative Extension. I wonder if Vicki can do that. Send Vicki an email and ask her. And if she can't do it, ask her, email Delia and ask her will she leave it out Monday? No, Tuesday. And Gina will go over and pick it up. It's $10 for gas for Gina to go over there and pick that up. And the Lincolns. That Todd McQuaid will come over, and the first thing he'll do is to take his $27 instrument and get the oil out of the 1980 and take it up to Nassau, and Nassau will dispose of it. And do the same for the 1993 Lincoln. That may be enough for today. And then next Saturday, get all of the, Patricia Nichols bought us some lovely containers. Very expensive containers. They're going to have to be thrown away, I guess. And get all of the antifreeze out of both Lincolns. That will be 2 containers. The gasoline, I guess, can just stay in there. Can it? Ask Todd. You don't have to get new gasoline, but if you do have containers for it. Get out the transmission fluid out of both Lincolns, the old transmission fluid, and get out the brake fluid. And that's all, right? What about the differential? Can Todd get on his back and get out the grease from the differential? We had an ad in the newspaper yesterday that Glendora needs a handy person to take the old fluids out of her Lincolns and put in new fluids. And we haven't received one answer. Any answer. Did you know about the old maid who put an ad in the newspaper for her husband? And she received 100 answers and they all said the same thing, you can have mine? And about the ad in the newspaper, classified, cut glass vase for sale by lady, slightly cracked, and umbrella for sale by man with cracked rib. What else has to be done today? Did I tell you about the University of Pennsylvania, which apparently has the richest, some of the richest progeny of well-to-do people in the United States? It's a private university. And when I told Dr. Vermont that Austin wasn't going to go to his graduation, he wasn't going to buy a cap and gown because he couldn't afford it, and he didn't really want to go. Dr. Vermont says, you go ahead and order it and I'll pay for it. And I would like to pay for it. I can pay some. I can't pay a whole lot, but I can pay some of it. The question is, how do you get in touch with Austin? Through his mother? Okay, work on that a little bit today. Kathy. Begins with B. Who was taught 5th grade for 32 years. Wonderful. I guess there's other things too to do. This job never seems to get easier, or this undertaking, this project of trying to get through the good message, it never seems to get easier and easier. It just seems to get more and more complicated. How are you coming on your essay, should Glendora discontinue public access TV? We're typing it, and I think we're down to number 7 out of something like 12 reasons why or why not, which we're going to email to each of our TV stations, each of our 75 TV stations. And then the standard work. The Holy Agenda, from voicemail up through the museum. That's about 12 delightful tasks. Telephoning the people who need help and encouragement and solutions. And jokes, and a hymn, and a prayer. Reading Compton's Encyclopedia, we read about lilies of the valley. And we read about, today we're going to read about lightning. And then to read the World Book Encyclopedia that was published only last year. And we read about we're in the volumes M, as in Mary, as in Malaysia. Okie doke. Got to think of some jokes to tell you. When we go through the Think folder and we come across jokes, I'll ask number 1 to prompt us, and I'll try to get you some more jokes. Doctor, doctor, I have a ringing in my ears. Doctor, don't answer it. Doctor, there's nothing I can do for your disease. It's hereditary. Patient, then send the bill to my dad. Why is English called the mother tongue? Daddy, why is English called the mother tongue? Father never gets a chance to use it. Daddy, can I join the infantry? Well, I guess that makes sense. You're an infant. Son, money doesn't grow on trees. Son, then how come banks have branches? Bank robber to the bank teller. One peep out of you and your geography. Don't you mean history? Don't change the subject. A dog was asked, are you bilingual? And the dog said, woof, meow. Little brother to big sister. They're reading the Christmas story and about the birth of Jesus. And the little brother says to the bigger sister, what's a virgin? And the bigger sister said, a virgin is a woman who eats all of her vegetables. Last night, number 1 fixed me some Uncle Ben's rice with garden vegetables in it. It was pretty good. It wasn't quite as good as Knorr's, Knorr', rice with mushroom. Glendora very often has cream of wheat for breakfast, very often, and a peanut butter sandwich because of the protein that's in the peanuts. Nuts have higher protein than meat any day. And you should eat your protein firsthand. You shouldn't eat it secondhand. People claim, oh, well, I can't be vegan because I need protein. I need meat for protein. Meat does not have as much protein as plants, like the nuts and the soybeans and the legumes. And then you're eating your protein secondhand with a lot of blood and muscle. And the throwing away of your peace of mind and your peace with God. You're never going to have peace with God. Agonizing and terrorizing animals and putting your money down on the counter at the supermarket. Okay. Let's see what time it is.
The time is 7:54 a.m.
All right, that's 24 minutes. What's St. Francis's song? Kindness to animals. The cows and pigs, leave them alone. The cows and pigs, leave them alone. Help the fish, stop the cruel. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All creatures of our God and King, lift up your hearts and let us sing. Just be kind, stop the cruel. The cows and pigs, leave them alone. The hens and horses, turkeys too, help the fish. Just be kind, one with God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All creatures of our God and King, lift up your hearts and let us sing.